until the last war of Lebanon that we have 31 fallen soldiers from the last war, only from the armored corps. On that wall are written 5,950 names of fallen soldiers from the armored corps. Now we'll get closer and we'll see a little bit how is that wall designed. First of all, if you could get closer and touch the wall, tell me please, how did we write the name? Okay, see, how did we write it? Actually engraved is the name. Yeah, okay, now why did we engrave that? These names for two reasons. The first reason is that these names, these soldiers are always engraved in our heart. We'll never forget them. And the second reason is that no matter what weather there'll be, if there'll be strong sun or rain, they'll never get erased. Okay, now tell me what color is the wall? Gray. Not gray, silver. Okay, now silver is not such a sad color, although we did pick that color. Okay, we picked that color after the song by Nathan Alterman, The Silver Platter. Okay, now when I tell you what's your name? Sarah. When I tell you Sarah, you got it on a silver platter. What do I mean by that? That you got it? Well, not good thing, maybe you got it easily, okay? Now, we didn't get our country easily, okay? We fought on every inch in our country, and we paid on it with our son's blood. Each of these soldiers fell for the same purpose, to protect our country. What it means in this song is that these soldiers are the silver platter in which we were given our country, Israel. Okay, now I'll talk a little bit of how the names are written. They're ordered by chronological order. From the war in 48, the Independence War, until the last war. In 82, we thought that we didn't have any more wars, so it's by decades until the last war of Lebanon. Okay, now do you know a little bit how to read Hebrew? Does someone know to? A little bit, maybe just to read a name. Do you know? Okay, so I'll read one name here. Okay, Owen Karma, for example. Okay, you see that even though the names are all ordered by alphabetical order, the first name comes before the last name, even though the names are by the last name alphabetically.
It's very American. In Israel, it's only that we're using the last name first and
right,
then
exactly.
the name.
Okay, you also see that there's no ranks here. You also see that in some cases there are little nicknames in parentheses. If that's okay. That is just for one purpose. That the families and friends who come here to the wall, they won't see a formal list of names by the last name. They won't see Sergeant that and Private that. They will see the person that they loved and lost. Okay, the same person as they knew him. Okay, another thing, we separate the names by small black dots. You can see that there are some people with the same last name, but they're separated by black dots. We have 11 cases on the wall that the names aren't separated by black dots, they're separated by Vav Chibur. That's and in English. Okay, I'll show you an example here. If you can look right here, Yair Manin ve Pinchas Manin. Okay, you can see that they have the same last name, but they're separated by Vav. Okay, there's three conditions for that. The first condition is that they are both from the armored corps. The second reason is that they fell in the same war, and the third reason is that they had blood relationship. 2 cases of father and son, and the rest brother and brother. Now, since we touched these names, I would like to tell you their story. Pinchas Marnin was the older brother. He got drafted into the armored corps. He was very proud of the job. He was a company commander. He commanded of a lot of commanders in the tank. And he was very proud of the job. He always came home with ranks and stories and told his mother and friends how proud he is to be in that job. And a few years go by, and his younger brother, Yair Marnin, gets into the army. Yair Marnin, we get drafted into the army when we're 18. Yair Marnin got to be a pilot. Now, in all armies, a pilot is a very prestigious job. But still, he said, well, I don't want to be a pilot. I want to go after my brother. I want to be as proud as he is, and I want to be in the Armored Corps. Because he insisted on that, that's what he got. He got to be a commander in a tank, just like we saw in the open tank. And in 1973, the Yom Kippur War, two of the brothers were sent to two corners of the countries, one in the south, one in the east. And on the same day, on the same hour, both brothers died. Now I want you just to stop for a second and just think about the mother, the family. You know, mothers have motherly emotions. She looked in front of her door and she saw the three commanders come to her door, and she knew something was wrong. She just went to them and asked them, well, I know something's wrong. Just tell me which one of them. And the answer was both of them. Okay, now that's just one story of all these stories of these soldiers. I want you to understand, these aren't just names, these aren't just numbers. Each one of them has their own story, has their own life, has their own dreams. Each one of them had a mother that waited for them to come home for Shabbat, and they didn't. And now what's left for us to do is just remember these soldiers and respect them, because they're our heroes. Do you have anything to add? Okay, so we'll move on into the memorial site inside the building. Okay, we'll move on.
Looks like the Vietnam Memorial, you know. Have you seen it in Washington? Looks very well. And very well.